Two days until our nation decides who will be our next president. As expected, both campaigns will be spread out in battleground states over the next 48 hours. Dr. Susan MacManus, she's covering all of this. Our political expert joins us in studio this morning. Let's start with early voting because today is the last day to cast that ballot before, actual election day. From Republicans to Democrats to independents who we know have voted, is that telling us anything about Florida?
It's telling us again that Florida is very, very close. No surprise there. We will be looking, however, today to see whether black turnout increases. Today's Souls to the Polls Day. It's a very big day for black turnout, and that has been a weakness of the Clinton campaign so far. So at the end of the day, we'll have a better idea of how well she's reached into that community in the last couple of days.
You have talked about Hillsborough County so much. 19 of the last 20 presidential elections. The popular vote winner of Hillsborough County has not just won the state of Florida, they've won the election. This is so important. And why do you think Hillsborough County is so crucial?
Because Hillsborough County reflects the state's racial and ethnic makeup, its age makeup, its three key geographies, rural, urban, suburban. It's all right here in Hillsborough County, which is why it's called the best predictor of how Florida is going to vote, and then in Florida, the best predictor of how the nation's going to vote. That's where the saying, as Hillsborough goes, so goes Florida. As Florida goes, so goes the nation. And we'll be seeing whether that's true after Election Day, but right now it's certainly driving the candidates to come here all the time.
And you were doing some work with some overseas folks, and Florida is not just a hot topic in our country, they know about it too.
There are so many international reporters right here in Hillsborough County and on USF campus, actually. And all of the ones that I interview with are asking first and foremost, why Florida? But why are they here? Because internationally, Florida is seen as the bellwether for the country.
We have built up quite a reputation, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
The newest ABC poll nationally has Clinton with a 5-point lead. However, the electoral map is tightening quite a bit. Is this FBI review of the emails, is that still a black cloud over her campaign here in the next 2 days, or is that kind of dwindled away in your opinion?
It's still a force in driving some Republicans to the poll and driving some of the never-Trump people to suddenly vote for him at the last minute. I mean, he's sort of surging. She's trying to hold even, and she's ahead a little bit. It's right down to the wire. She's counting on celebrities. He's counting on himself to draw crowds and draw voters.
And you're not certain that either the celebrity factor, is that something you see as having a big impact with her? Because, I mean, this is a large part of her last couple of rallies here.
It's not really evidence, not much evidence. In my discussion with my Florida politics class at USF, they weren't real keen on thinking that was really going to drive people to vote. It'll drive people to a concert. And of course, the hope is for Clinton, even if it's a close sliver of people that it draws to the polls, that may be the difference between her winning and losing in some of these swing states.
Let's leave you with this. It's gotten ugly. There's been talk of rigged elections, voter intimidation. There was something you wanted to say about that.
Well, voter intimidation, there are a lot of groups that are very, very carefully watching that. We've had a few incidences reported here in Florida to groups that are watching that, the Voter Protection Group. Most of it has been over people saying that they didn't get the mail-in ballot that they requested. But in terms of violent interaction and interruption of people voting and in-your-face kinds of things, we haven't had much of that. Hopefully we won't.
Not something you're seeing. Okay, here we go. We've got 48 hours. I have to ask you, with everything you've read, everything you've seen, everybody you've talked to, are you getting any sense of what is going to happen Tuesday night?
It's Florida, Florida, Florida again. We're just a tied state. It just comes down to who's getting the most people to the polls. Right now, almost half of Floridians have voted, and there's only less than 100,000 difference between Democrats and Republicans, and a lot of the independents are voting, and we sure don't know how they're leaning. It's just a great place to be watching politics. I tell our viewers this is the #1 media market in Florida, the most divided, the I-4 corridor plus here. And it's no surprise that Trump is coming to Sarasota, back in our market yet again, and surrogates for Hillary, too. This is the happening place.
This is it, the place to be.
Stay tuned right here.
Bottom of the ninth, Game 7 of the World Series the next 3 days. Dr. Susan MacManus, thanks so much for being with us. We'll be right back.